Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. It's Friday, the weekend is finally here, but my weekend ends as I start back on night shift tonight, and wow, what a week I have had down at the allotment this week. It's been every little bit of weather going down there this week. We've had beautiful sunshine, we've had rain, we've had sleet, we've had hail, we've had wind. It's been all over the place, but I have been down 5 days in a row, and I'm so pleased that I managed to get down every day, because I have got every single job done what I said I were going to do at the beginning of the week. I can't even remember all the jobs that I said, but I have managed to do them. I've put all the stones round my pond, I've planted my potatoes, I've planted my onions, I've labelled up all my seeds, all them are growing now. I've done a lot of painting today. That has been today's job, painting all around my plot, and yeah, it's starting to look fantastic now. And next week's job will be to start doing some weeding, because the weeds are starting to grow back again. And that is why when you've got an allotment, it's good to make a list of things that you need to do. Like, obviously today's Friday, so you've got Saturday, Sunday if you just work normal hours, but not like me. And it's good to make a list of all the jobs that you need to do this weekend, because you can tick them off as you do them, and you're not overcomplicating things either. If you make a list of things that you need to do and you tick them off, then you know where you are with your garden. And that's why I do these episodes at the beginning of the month of all the jobs that need doing in April and all the seeds that need planting in April, because then you can tick them off as you get on and do them. So yeah, today it's been absolutely fantastic weather. The sun has been beautiful, and hopefully soon I'll start getting this allotment tan, because I do like to look a bit browner than being pale. And yeah, I don't need to go on holiday when you've got an allotment, because you're out in the sunshine most of the day, and it's absolutely glorious when the sun is out. And today we concentrated on doing all my painting, as like I said, it was absolutely beautiful, so it would dry pretty fast, and I got a lot more painting done than I actually thought. I did all my entrance, I did all around my old fruit area, I did around my new fruit area, and did all the fencing. And then next week I can concentrate on painting the rest of my plot, which will probably take me all week to do, because that's a bigger area than this area that I'm doing at the moment. So hopefully we will get that done. And I was going through all the paint what I found in my polytunnel, what I've just stored away, and I thought it was all green, but it's not. Some's brown, some's sage, so we'll see what colours they all look like once it's all painted up my plot. It may be all multicoloured by the end of it, but we'll see what it looks like, and hopefully it will all look good. And yeah, it's not something that needs doing. You don't have to paint your plot, but I do it to make it look nicer and to make it look good on photos as well, because obviously I do a lot of sharing of pictures and stuff like that, and it looks a lot better to the eye than it all being horrible and rotten, the wood. And I've just shared a photo now on Instagram of a photo of my entrance of my plot, and it certainly does look better being painted than not being painted. So all that's done. Some of it was orange previously, so a lot of the green paint had come off, so I'm going to have to do a couple of layers on some of it to make it look decent enough to not show the orange through it. I don't know what it was treated in originally, but this orange is so hard to cover. but hopefully we can get it looking green soon, because the orange does look awful. So we've done all that, and then I was busy watering all my seeds, because my seeds needed a good water. I only watered them yesterday, but it's been absolutely boiling in my shed today, so a lot of them had dried out, and yeah, I gave them all a good watering. And like I said, I'm on nights for the next 4 nights, and I don't want to be going to the plot every day while I'm off, while I'm working. So I'll probably go after 2 days down to the plot, give it a water, and check up on how they are. They should last 2 days before needing another water, but it is forecast warm weather again tomorrow, so we'll have to see how warm it is, whether we have to go down to the plot tomorrow or not to water them. But Sunday and Monday are looking a bit cooler, so we'll see how we get on with watering while I'm working. That's the only thing. I used to live around the corner from my allotment, and I don't anymore. I live about 20 minutes drive, so it's not a pain to drive to. It's pretty straightforward, easy roads to get to it, but it's just driving there and driving back, and with price of petrol nowadays, I definitely don't want to drive as much as I need to. I need to save it. I usually try and make a full tank last a month, so we'll see if we manage to or not, because I don't want to be driving when I don't have to. So yeah, that has been all the seeds watering, and then I'm trying a little experiment. Not something I've seen online or anything, it's just something I want to give a try. I have the often taste to a nice tin of Pringles, and I'd saved 3 tins what I'd had Pringles in previously. Obviously they've all been eaten. Once you start a tin, you just can't stop, as they say. And what I've done, I've drilled some holes in the bottom of them, filled them up with compost, and sown a few carrot seeds in the top, just to see if we can get some decent long carrots. I'm not expecting them to be fat and really big, but we might get some nice thin long carrots. And I've got that many carrot seeds. I went through all my seeds the other week, and I can't believe how many carrot seeds I've got. They must send them in at the magazines every single month, but we've got that many seeds, so I thought, why not? I'll try them. I won't lose out on anything. I've got some compost spare, so I shoved some compost in, sprinkled a few seeds in, and watered them, and then I've put cling film over the top of them and put them in my greenhouse, where it's absolutely boiling. It was 20 degrees in there today, so hopefully they'll germinate, and once they germinate, then we can take the cling film off and just keep them watered and see how they get on. So I want to hopefully share the progress with you, so make sure you keep following me on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll see how they're getting on. If they're a failure, oh well, but you don't know these things until you try them, do you? And that's how people find out stuff. So yeah, we'll see how we get on with doing that, and see if we get some carrots, and I'll be able to cook them in my new oven. If you've not seen my new oven, I shared a video on Facebook and Instagram yesterday of me cooking my rhubarb, my first lot of rhubarb that I've picked. Wow, it is absolutely delicious. I'm definitely going to be picking that on a regular basis all the way through summer. I'll be living on rhubarb. I'll be turning red. Can you remember when Sunny Delight used to turn you orange? And it actually did, because kids were drinking that much of it. But yeah, definitely worth a try, and seeing if we get some nice rhubarb as well this year, which I think we will do, because it's growing pretty good. So we did all that. I filled up my bird feeders for the next few days. No doubt they'll be empty by the time I get back after 4 days, so hence the reason why we need to go down after 2 days to top them back up. Keep seeing Mr. Ratty. I shared a photo of him on Facebook and Instagram yesterday. If you didn't see that, quite a lot of people have commented saying that it can spread disease and stuff like that. Yeah, I do know that. I just don't want to kill it, really. I'm not that sort of person for wanting to kill stuff. But obviously, if he is being naughty, hopefully we'll get rid of him or even there's quite a few cats that hang around on the allotments as well, so maybe the cat will find him and get him, because he's not that shy, to be honest. He keeps popping out all the time, so we'll see if Mr. Catty gets him and hopefully takes him away. So yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend working. Hopefully I'll be back in the gym, because if you don't know, it's a month yesterday, I think it is, that World Naked Gardening Day is coming up. World Naked Gardening Day, that is right. And what it is, it's usually the first Saturday of May, and what people usually do is go out in the gardens and the allotments and take a naked photo, but with the rude areas covered up with an object or leaves or something like that, to make it quite humorous, and they share it on social media. Last year I took the courage, I did it myself, I shared it on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, if you wanted to join in, let me know. It's always good to get involved in funny things. Obviously make sure you check all the angles of where the photo is taken, and if there's anybody else around on the plot, because they may not want to see it. I tell you what, I certainly went down to my allotment last year and did it at like 6 o'clock in the morning, when nobody would be down there, and I was in my shed, so nobody would see me. But you have to have a laugh, and that's one thing I certainly do about gardening. And I just love sharing my stories with you and my tales from the allotment. And it's been good today, because while I was down on the allotment, my plot neighbour came down, and he was doing a lot of seed planting and stuff like that. He's really cracking on with it now, and he was ready for going home, and then he just got talking to me, and then he carried on gardening for another hour. But I always say, if there's somebody else down next door to you, or on the allotment or in the garden, it encourages you to garden more, because somebody's there, and you're talking to them and encouraging each other. And that's the good thing about gardening, encouraging one another to crack on and get stuff done. If you were down there on your own, like today, I'd have gone by 1:30, 1 o'clock-ish, but I ended up staying till about 2:30. Yes, I should have been in bed ready for night shift, but the sun was glorious, my neighbour were down there, and I was just enjoying myself getting it all painted. And I'd set myself a task of getting them areas painted, and I wanted to get them done, which I did. And I'm really pleased, because it's been a decent day, like I said, and hopefully it will dry. Some areas will need a second coat probably, but we'll see how well it dries and see what it looks like once it has dried. And I know a lot of these paints say that it's a one coat paint, and more often than not it's not. It'll need more than one coat, definitely. I don't know where they get this idea from, but yeah, hopefully it will all look nice, and then next week I can concentrate on painting the rest of my plot. But I need to write out all my list of my jobs, what I need to do next week. I know obviously some areas will be doing weeding. I need to finish off building all my beds. There's a couple more beds I need to build at the top of my plot. I need to mark out some edging down the side of my plot where my neighbour's plot is, because his plot's lower than mine, so I need to put some edging in to stop all the soil from falling down onto his plot, or my plot will get shorter and shorter. So we need to sort that out. I need to do some weeding. I need to disinfect my polytunnel. That's on my list. Obviously I'm not growing anything in my polytunnel at the moment, it's all in my shed, but I want it ready for when I'm planting out in there, which will be May, June time, when I'm planting my tomatoes in there. So yeah, I'll have quite a long list for next week as well, and hopefully it'll be decent. And it's always good to put some jobs to do indoors for if it is raining or if it is miserable, and then you've always got something to do down on your plot. And that's what I encourage, that you do have a shed or a greenhouse down on the plot, because then it does encourage you to go down when it is miserable and wet and horrible. It's nice just to go in your shed, potter around, get some stuff done. It gets you out of the house, gets you out of your flat, Like I said, I haven't got a garden. I live in a flat, so it's the place that I like to go to and just enjoy myself, really, and just listen to the birds. And since I put the bird feeders up, wow, I'm just listening to the birds all morning, all day, tweeting away and enjoying them nuts and bird seed and stuff. Yes, it's costing me a fortune to feed them, but hopefully over time we'll keep feeding them on a regular basis, and I'm looking at getting some more bird feeders eventually, so we'll see how we get on with them. I did see a Mr. Robin eating the seed as well today. I'd not seen a robin on my bird feeders, and I saw a robin today. I'm hoping that the blackbirds do find the sultanas. A lot of my followers were telling me that that blackbirds are ground eaters, but I don't really want to put the sultanas on the floor because then the rat will just eat them all. So we'll have to see how we can attract the blackbirds to the plot, because I do want to try and get blackbirds to the plot, because I don't see them down there hardly much at all, and I want to see more of Mr. Blackbird down on the allotment. So yeah, that has been your Friday episode for today. I hope that you all have a fantastic weekend. I'll hopefully keep these podcasts going while I'm on night shift. Obviously I won't be at the garden, so I'll just be sharing tips and advice for the next few days. And till then, if you've not checked out my other podcast channel, go and check that one out, because there's over 50 episodes on there. The last episode we talked about how to grow sweet corn successfully and how to stop the rats from eating them and the squirrels, because squirrels do like to eat the sweet corn. So check that out. There is a link in this description, or search for gardening and allotment tips and it will come up. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.